Hey guys, this is Comic and today I'm doing a review for The Flash. So let's start talking about this episode. Here we get to see King Shark return, and actually a special guest appearance from Diggle and Lila from Arrow. And the team's trying to figure out how to defeat King Shark. King Shark actually destroys the West home. And in the end, they're able to destroy King Shark. He's definitely just a meta-human of the week, but there's still a lot of trauma going on throughout this episode, dealing with the aftermath of Earth 2. Barry dealing with what he saw in Earth 2. Does he want to tell his friends and family? Does he not? Jesse and Harrison Wells adjusting to this new Earth, knowing that they kind of belong here now, ingesting that they will never go back to Earth 2. Cisco trying not to tell Caitlin about Killer Frost, and also Caitlin dealing with Jay's death. And that's kind of what's going on in the episode. And in the end, we get to see a big cliffhanger, and we find out who Zoom is. So, spoiler alert, if you have not seen the episode, but you guys know with my reviews, I discussed the episode, but Zoom is who I guessed. It's Jay Garrick, or at least a version of Jay Garrick. We obviously don't know what Earth he's from and which was the Jay Garrick that we've been seeing this whole time, but I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, that even before last episode, now that everyone's been speculating, I've been saying that Jay Garrick was probably Zoom, so I'm happy I was right about my speculations, and I'm curious to see how, this is all true and how many Jays are around and why there's so many Jay Garricks running around our Flash universe, and running around definitely was pun intended. But what did I think of the episode overall? I definitely liked, like I said, that they dealt with some trauma. They even showed Wally and Barry's relationship a bit more, something I've been saying I wanted to see in the show. So I was happy about that. Seeing them not really connect, but just seeing where their relationship is at with being two sons of Joe West in a different way, and that was an interesting story to see. My favorite story probably being the Caitlin story, because I'm happy they're kind of doing more with her. As I've been saying, a big complaint of the season is I feel like they've sidelined a good amount of characters, Caitlin being the huge character that they sidelined. And I like that they dealt with her Killer Frost arc in a way. And even though she says in the end of the episode, it's like, oh, I'm not a metahuman. They stated it so many times in this episode that I feel like they're gonna make her a metahuman in some way, and Killer Frost is gonna be integrated in Earth 1 in some way. Again, I feel like they stated it so many times in this episode that she wasn't Killer Frost, or she wouldn't become Killer Frost, that I think she'll have to become Killer Frost. And I hope they could deal with that arc in a cool way. I'm really interested to see where Caitlin goes now that she doesn't really have a love interest, because again, that's been the complaint, is that she hung out so much with Jay, we didn't really get to see a lot of her own story, but finally we really got to see her own story here, and the connection between her and Cisco, which is always fun to see. So yeah, Wally Barry was great. Like I said, those had some good emotional moments, and just dealing with Earth 2 in general. Jessie Quick, as you guys know, Jessie Wells, she's one of my characters I was most looking forward to on The Flash, and one of my most anticipated characters for The Flash. And I like that they did a bit more with her in the episode, showing her science background. Could have used a little bit more development from her. Again, that's been another complaint of this season, but I feel like they're stalling for something. And hopefully it's her Speed Force, especially now that we have a female speedster in the next episode, which we have to wait a whole entire month to actually see. I did not expect that hiatus, but what can you do? That's television. But Diggle also was in this episode, like I said. What did I think of that? I don't think we necessarily needed Diggle, and I was upset we didn't get to see his new helmet. I was upset about that. I was like, that's the whole reason I wanted him in this episode, to see his new helmet. And we didn't even get to see it. I thought in the end of the episode, like, yeah, this is totally a joke. I thought, hey, maybe they're unveiling the helmet of Diggle. The awesome new helmet. I guess that's going to be next episode, but maybe not, because David Ramsey was filming Flash, so will he be in this episode that much of Arrow? I don't know. We'll have to see tomorrow when Arrow airs. So I thought they could have done a little bit more with Diggle, but I still like the jokes of him not being used to Barry. I think that's great. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of him going to the Flash every once in a while. So now the only character we have to see on the Flash is Thea, because I think she's the only one that hasn't crossed over from really the main crew. So let's see Thea, Speedy, and Cisco hang out for an episode. So that would be interesting. But yeah, this was a bit of a slower episode until the end, obviously until our cliffhanger. King Shark did feel a bit like a villain of the week. I don't know if we necessarily needed Diggle, but this was a needed episode because we really did need to get into the heads of a lot of these characters, because we had some big episodes from our Earth 2 Part 1 and Part 2. So I'm glad that they took kind of this, not break, but this slowdown to deal with some of the plots that we were already given. But also give you that cliffhanger to get excited for more Flash. But yeah, so that's what I thought about the episode. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. This is Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links from my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And I will see you guys later. Bye.